Ciao and welcome. This is FC Talk, episode 8, the July episode of my podcast dedicated to art photography, to my vision for art photography. I'm your host, Francesco Coppola, and in this episode we'll have two main argumentation. One is the general situation of photography, strictly related to portrait photography in general, how it's difficult to emerge in this field, how is tricky to obtain a career for those of the passionate obsessed with photography, that has a passion for portraits and that would like to live, gain their economic freedom and dignity through photography. The other, it will be about the opening of my account on patreon.com. What you will find there, what will be your gain subscribing there, and the value that I think I can give you in change of your support. Obviously, we'll close with something about what's next in these summer days. So, with no further ado, let's start from the first argumentation, that is the really difficult situation of all the people that has a passion for portrait photography. From an article I read some day ago, it appears that last year there has been a production of photos, the total number in the whole world with digital photos taken are several trillions, something about around 60,000 per second. The 90% of these are taken with smartphones. Nevertheless, it is a really big number that brings with it a general situation where everybody has a camera in their pockets. Thus, the value of a photograph has diminished. The skill of reading professionally a photo has evaporated. That's because not only you take photos mostly with your smartphone, but also because the large majority of people look photos only watching through a smartphone screen, a small smartphone screen. This way, image quality is not visible. You cannot tell the difference between a photo taken with a smartphone, a portrait, let's say, a portrait taken with a smartphone, with a portrait made with a large format film camera. And in this situation, trying to find a niche that pays your photos is more difficult than before. But consider that this path to the professional photography in portraits usually are into fashion photography or in wedding photography, even if that is a very different set of skills, but those are portraits too. The artistic photography, they always has been difficult to find breakthrough, a space where to make a living by shooting portraits. There is obviously a lack of knowledge, general knowledge on how pass from noob to a more evolved photographer to a semi-professional to making your first step into, I don't know, some agency, model agency in the main fashion places. There are not so many. Talk New York, Los Angeles maybe, London, Paris, Milano. There should be maybe something in the East, in Asia, but you see, you have more fingers in your hand that in the world there are fashion plazas. And the professional agency that work with international models are really few. So it has always been difficult to enter in working in places like this. And another thing, even for wedding photography, usually once it was easier maybe. If you had some practice, a great passion, you were young, maybe you could find some established wedding photographer who was looking for an aid in his shooting, and if you work well with him in some year of wedding photography, helping this photographer, you will be able to learn the job and you can make a career. Once this was more common to happen, nowadays that much common weddings in numbers are in decline. The perception of wedding themselves has declined for many people. They don't want to spend big money for that day, above all if they are at their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth wedding. As you know, it happens. So, how difficult it is nowadays to make a living with photography related to portrait photography, or you are relative, you have blood connection with some photographer, or maybe you did some study. In Italy there is a Liceo Artistico, and there is at the university too a university about Belle Arti. If you did specific studies, you could have some chance, not any insurance, only chance. But what about people that has not in his family or her family someone already inside a professional portrait photography habitat? What if your call to photography came when you are in your older years? You don't have anyone. Maybe you are an immigrant. You emigrated to a big city, and common to all of us that at some time moved from the place where we lived and grew up to the place where we went to search for a job. You don't know anyone. You know in time you succeed in know some people, but these connections are not comparable to the ones where you grew up in that place. And for those, obviously, no matter how passionate you are, no matter how serious you are, it's difficult. even if not impossible. Obviously, with my studies, I've studied photography and portrait photography for 2 years during the years 2016, 2017, and part of the first part of 2018. And in my courses, I happen to know some photographer that reached even outside from studies and family connections, was able nevertheless to obtain a career in this field. It depends. Mostly is a fact photography, accessing to photography places, jobs, is mostly a matter of connections, the people you know. So the importance is obviously continuing doing your life, find a job, because you can never know who you can meet, who can be your client in your more common, normal 9 to 5 work. That said, what about those who wants to enter the fashion portrait photography? There is a route for it. There has always been, and you can start building your portfolio. This is the base. A photographer, if he wants to grow, present himself to work for others, what he has to build is not a curriculum vitae, is a portfolio. Around 25, 30, someone except 40, very good, the best of the best of these portraits. This said, these portraits, it would be better if you find some professional photographer in the field of fashion portrait. You can ask for a professional reading of your portfolio, so he can or she can guide you. Say if it is all perfect, it's rare that happens, or if you have something to improve, then you cut out those one that the photographer didn't like and restart shooting. That is the thing that happened to me. In my reading, it was globally good, but I had to do some reshooting. And after you have in your portfolio 2.0 at least, you could try to send this portfolio to one of these model agencies. Problem is, the problem for which I had to do my switch of career. That is, at least in Italy, if you send your portfolio to one of the 6 Milan more serious model agencies, if at least one of them accepts you and you start to cooperate with them, you will do it for free, and you will do it for free for a not numbered, not institutionalized number of months, if not years. But what is happening at the top? It is news. I already in a past episode said, but I repeat it here. H&M and Levi's, they did started to use artificial intelligence tools so that models, photographers, and all the other people that work there will not have a job anymore for their firms. Obviously, there is a number of a wider number of firms. The two that I mentioned are of the lower tier. The luxury ones, even talking to other people, they agree with me. It seems unthinkable that Louis Vuitton or Armani or Gucci will use artificial intelligence slop, but the fact is the red flags are on. The process has already begun. The technology evolves very fast. Who guarantees you that if you start on September doing your practice for an agency, doing portraits to the models that have yet an incomplete lookbook, the lookbook that is for the models their portfolio. For those of you that doesn't know, or do catalog work. How many months? Who guarantees that you do 12 months of this basic fashion work unpaid? Surely you make a series of connections. At those point you will make good connections, but if there is a new improvement in Stable Diffusion, Midjourney or some other tools that produce images with a computer, who can guarantee you that there will be space for you, that you are new? Different thing is the art business. This is another thing. It is really difficult. And is what I'm doing. It is what I propose you to follow. Because when we think we do some artistic photography, first thing that comes to mind is producing some prints, trying to sell prints. In the past, more than this, the first thing that came to mind was to enter trying a gallery that accepts your work and represents you. But this depends on where you live. In Italy is difficult, really difficult, find a serious gallery. It is more possible that you find someone that accepts your work if you pay something. That means that you have to flee, you have to escape, because they don't earn from selling your work. They earn from your money, and the money of who knows how many others. So, galleries nowadays, you have to look for them really with the big attention. There are even in Italy some gallery that is that works seriously and maybe can accept some new artist. But the information on which of the many are, it's a thing that at this moment in which I'm recording this podcast, I don't know. I don't know which one. There are galleries online that are portals where you can open a profile. Someone have a selection before. I don't have a complete landscape of these artistic portals, but I know some name. I know better only one. Saatchi Art allows you to enter for free. You can start filling your profile with things that you can consider are artistic portraits, even nude. I arrive only now, but I gave it to understood that artistic nude photography is a field of portrait photography. So, that said, another thing that is more widespread known is trying to obtain some publication from magazines. But even there, the magazine landscape is very complicated and could bring you in expenses that brings you nowhere. Where if you cite that, if you say, hey, I've been published in this magazine, can be more detrimental can be of harm for your career than not. So even there, you have to look to the magazine, study them, know them, select the ones that publish your kind of production, because obviously if you do nude art photography, is not a good idea to send your images to a magazine that has only a record of fashion portraits, obviously, and vice versa. In my case, if you follow me, I tried to sell photos in free campaigns, high quality paper, Hademule is archival one, is used in museums, in galleries, signed with authenticity certificate, only 10 or 5 copies each, with moderate prices for what I know for now. My prices are largely under 5,000, and that should be a moderate. I have publications, above all 6 international publications, and between them I have 2 on Style Cruise magazine, 1 on Anatard magazine, and 1 on Socks and Pizza magazine, that are the biggest name for the moment. I have 2 exhibition, a collective exhibition of general art dedicated to artistic nude, obviously, that currently ongoing until the 15th of this month. I have the catalog of that Nudus 2025, but yet I couldn't be able to sell my images. Thus comes with transit for the other part of what I propose to you. My new Patreon account. Patreon.com, for the ones who don't know, is a portal in which a creative person of various type of creativity, can be a musician, can be a writer, can be a journalist, can be a YouTube creator, and photographers like us, and nude art photographers like me. They can open a profile and there propose various advantages in change of a subscription, a monthly subscription. This way, the creative obtains a base income that allows her or him to continue doing their creativity despite what can be the various difficulties that there are. For nude art photography, my biggest difficulty is that I cannot use too much Instagram and Facebook because they have some peculiarity, they tend to reject too much uncovered skin. They have issues with images that, how they say, promote personal intercourse within adults. That yet now, this day, I continue to say, what's your problem? But what is the problem with this? Even if my art would be this, that is not. But even if, what's your problem? But go to some psychologist and talk to them of your issues. Anyway, those are a censorship, we can call it, problem. Even YouTube people, creator, that maybe they do YouTube videos about controversial political facts, they easily can end their videos demonetized by Google, or even if you do some more mundane videos on YouTube, but if you tend to have to speak too straight-like with too many bad words, that too can bring them to demonetize your videos. So platforms like Patreons comes to the rescue, is a very important tool. What I'm doing there, obviously, is trying to continue to make model shoot and experiment with many things. If you have followed me, you know. If not, I tell you now. I have a great variety of techniques and tools to do my creative artistic nudes. Until now, I have showed only a part. Until now, I have tried only some part. I can do much more. Above all, if I obtain some economic resource, I could return to shoot on film. And I have various ideas and plans to do things combining digital to film, to instant film photography, because art, that is art, mixing media, is one of the things that makes an image artistic. And for now, my economic situation brings me to a halt, because, well, with the unwilling help of my accountant, that made some little mistakes, I had to spend more money on the retirement fund for the Italian artisans that was needed. Something like little more than 1,500 euros went in or bureaucracy or this fund that is a loss for me, and that brought my bank account so down that I had to stop having expenses. Actually, I'm producing what I have already photographed and are yet waiting for me to edit them. I hope that when the last allotment of money will be paid, I will be more free, because now with my accountant we made the modifications to my partita IVA that will allow me to breathe a little more. September I should be able to return to photograph a little, not 4 shoots per month, more one, and one of the cheapest. But after that, as I said, I need, if I want to amplify and start to mix media, I need economic support. If I want to go faster, so that I can produce even more experimental nude art photography, so that I can do 2-3 model shoot per month. That will bring me faster to a development, because actually what I think I lack, what I think is the problem why I didn't succeed in selling 3 times my works, is that my Francesco Coppola Photography, my brand, is not enough known in the right places. 6 international publications are yet a low number. I should come more with 12, 15 to start to see some improvement, and obviously obtaining more exhibitions. There is another international exhibition that I said this year. For the next year I want to do that too. There are magazines that produce not much a collection of new photographers, but monographic interviews. It would be very cool to have 1 or 2 of these interviews if I can. I will try it, obviously. One of these magazines is the American Deck Uno. The other that I think is the British publication Unattired, for the monographic interviews for new artists. And that is, obviously, and I close this section with this, what I think is the value I give back to you, because if you go to my patreon.com/Francesco Coppola Photography, you find there 3 tiers, one at 5, one at 15, and one at 35 euros per month. Why I ask this amount of money? I am at this sound 51 years old, of some level of mastery that you can relate for formation. Obviously not, but I think that is a value yet. If you want to see my artistic images without crop, without censorship, and be at the same time more free for engagement, you can pay 5 euros per month. I have already started to share their images of some artistic model shoot, artistic nude model shoot there, and for that you have to pay only 5 euros per month. The 15 euros per month is for those of you who are more interested in the techniques, in the gear. I can surely for that show you what gear I have. If support arrives, what new gear I will acquire, why I think is useful, even the creative tools that I use, all things technique, that is the place, and I can show you my tricks. I think that has a value, and for 35 euros per month you will be able to follow me. For those of you who have more an artistic approach photography, you want to know not much how I created images, but what my images mean, and where I put them for selection for magazines and exhibitions. You want to see, you want to have some artistic business information, because one thing that I will start to do as soon as some more money arrives is to have some coaching service from an art coach that I found. That is very skilled in the art business field and can teach me more of the artistic landscape for photographers, artistic business practice. She knows about galleries, offline galleries and online galleries. More than this, all the free tiers will receive a monthly possibility to answer some polls, so that I can have we can have some kind of discussion, some suggestion. If you will have suggestions, I can receive it and respond it. Above all, more you pay, more the personal contact with me will be happen more often, not one per month, but one per week, and not something for in the basic. It will be polls for everybody. In the mid and upper tiers will be even some one-to-one in the third of all. The one-to-one possibility to contact me and having a discussion about artistic career, what kind of production I want to do, what project, if I have some project, what project I'm doing and which direction I will take. So this will be not a master that can transfer its experience that at the moment I have some little, but it's a value for someone who is making the effort now and is carving now with its imagination, with its existential wounds that inspires him. A path to succeed, to start selling, to start working paid with his photography. And this way, if you follow me from now and you will be with me when we'll get together up in maybe in a meet and greet occasion in some exhibition, I could do it. We can do it. It will be sweet. I think that this is a value. You human beings usually pay for reading books, to live other lives, to experience other struggles, other one fights, to go to the cinema, or you connect to your streaming service, to watch tales of defiance, fight. This is my ever-changing, ever-evolving, week by week effort, my tale that I propose to you to follow, more or less all of you, the supporter tier, the technician tier, the artist tier, all together will be a community that can assist me to an evolution, a growth that brings me to economic independence in what I love to do. So that is said, this is the end of the second part. For what's next, as always, I have already told you what's next. Yesterday I've sent a set of artistic nudes with a new technique that I have tried, very complicated, that with a bit of luck succeeded. It was a good photo within the others. To a new publications, a general artist publication called Review Me, that is part of the circuit of the Galerium.com, Biafarin.com circuit. It is one the first try to obtain some attention for an interview. And this is the first. In the next days I will see to do the same with other images for Untired and Deck Uno. I'm continuing editing the model shoot now is ongoing on my blog fcphotography.com/blog. I will have 2 more Mondays publications for that model shoot with the increasing difficulty of image making, we can say. And that said, I have something more. Not much, really. I need your help to return shooting. The idea for things to do for next model shoot are really many. That is not the problem. It has never been the problem with my ideas. I'm always been a volcano, so that is rest assured. I need help for this. The lower the support, the slower will be. The more you will be, the faster will be. That said, other new things that I'm about to do. For now, I think, I will continue to fill in my pattern account of images of materials. I have received, this is the real last thing, I have received the printed copy of the second Style Cruise magazine publication. I think because I'm telling you this because I plan to do an unboxing. It could be the second Style Cruise magazine publication or some other thing. I don't know. But I will do an unboxing for the 3rd tier. So I will present you the magazine. We look together the images there, where there are mine and how mine compares to the other published, and I will tell you why those one of mine are valuable between them, and maybe they could merit some better position, maybe, or not, or anyway, that they have an artistic value. So, that said, I hope you stay safe, stay creative, shine on, per aspera ad astra.